Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm super excited to be sharing with you guys my review for the I'm From Rice line. They have expanded it. We've got some new products here, the I'm From Rice Serum and the I'm From Rice Cream. Now, funny enough, last month I was just thinking about the I'm From Rice toner because if you guys remember, I did review that, I think it was last year, and it really didn't wow me. There was really nothing wrong with it. It just felt very average to me, and it was kind of a disappointment. And so I was thinking about that toner and just kind of like, for some reason, I just wanted to try it again because I was just wondering if maybe my opinion would change on it. Just, sometimes things change, and sometimes, your opinion will change. And just for whatever reason, I was just really curious about that product again. So funny enough, I actually got the opportunity to try the toner again alongside the serum and the cream. So I'm going to be reviewing all three products. We're going to start off with the new ones first. So if you guys are so ready to hear all my thoughts about the expanded I'm From Rice line, give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. So super happy to tell you that all three products do not contain essential oils, artificial fragrance, or drying alcohol. So gold star there, right? Now let's talk about rice really quickly before we get into the products, because rice is a super traditional ingredient that you can find in K-beauty products. It's definitely revered in Korea, much in the same way that ginseng is, right? It's just super traditional, but rice actually does have some really good benefits for your skin. It's definitely a good skin conditioner. It really softens the skin. It brings a nice moisturization that's not heavy or greasy. It's just very light and balancing for the skin. It's also considered to be a really good anti-aging ingredient because it contains a good amount of antioxidants. We've got vitamin E, ferulic acid in here. It also has omega-3 fatty acids and polysaccharides, which makes it actually a really good skin strengthener. It's good for hydrating, calming, and soothing the skin. Plus, one of the real well-known benefits of rice is that it can really help to even out your complexion and really give you a really healthy and glowy look. So let's start off with the product that impressed me the most, and that's the I'm From Rice Cream. Yeah, spoiler alert, I am really obsessed with this. I'm loving it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's start with the ingredients. Now, rice water is the #1 ingredient that's making up most of the rice component here. But interestingly, we also have rice bran oil, because rice bran oil actually has a really good fatty acid composition that's on the very nourishing and emollient side. Super good for dry skin. It's a very rich, moisturizing type of oil. Now, this is also a moisturizer that is shea butter based, and you can kind of tell, at least I can, like with moisturizers, I'm like, I bet you there's some shea butter in here because it's got that really beautiful whipped and creamy and buttery kind of feel to it. We also have synthetic beeswax in here. We've got a little touch of silicone, nothing wrong with that. We've got ceramide NP and phytosphingosine, and those two ingredients are really great for keeping your moisture barrier really nice and strong. So the texture is not at all what I was expecting, but oh my goodness, it is such a dream. I love this texture. When I first opened this jar up and I looked at it, it looked like a plain Jane cream. You know what I mean? It didn't look like special at all to me. It just looked like it looked like a moisturizing cream. Nothing really exciting there. But OMG, I put this onto my hand first things first, right? And then of course when I put it onto my face, I could not believe it. So silky. It is so nourishing, but it just melts into your skin. I mean it. Melt is the best word for this. The absorption is so good, but it just, wow, it just melts into your skin. It feels really rich, super duper comforting, really, really nourishing, so moisturizing. And yet surprisingly, for, really being a very powerful moisturizer, it feels very light on the skin. It spreads into a light layer and really just absorbs and protects your skin. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a moisturizing cream, but just other creams that I have used that have a similar moisturization power have a much thicker feel. And so this actually feels a lot more airy on the skin while still delivering so much nourishment. Obviously, this is not going to be for oily skin folks out there, but I think if you're combination like me, maybe you lean more on the dry side in certain seasons, or maybe you like a more powerful moisturizing night cream, and definitely dry skin folks, this is right up your alley. Okay, can you tell that I am just like gushing? I am so excited to share with you all my thoughts on this cream because, yeah, that texture really hooked me in first off. Like, it was so creamy, it was so dreamy, it was just melting into my skin. It was a really exciting texture, but even so, especially because it had that kind of lighter, airier feel to it, I wasn't so sure how this was gonna perform for me, especially now going, like I said, into the winter temperatures. I really need a heavy duty moisturizer to really work hard for my skin to keep it protected because it gets really cold here, it gets really windy, and that can really make my skin suffer. So I had reservations about if it was gonna be enough for my skin at this time of year, and it was. I did not think it was gonna be, but it was. Wow, this really kept my skin protected. This really stopped transepidermal water loss, kept my dehydration under control. My skin was just as comfortable at the end of the day as it was at the beginning. No dry and tight feeling at all. And actually this cream, so yeah, super moisturizing, really nourishing, very protective, no transepidermal water loss, but this cream actually I think has a calming element to it as well, because this is the product that I introduced into my routine first. So I used this before I started using any of the other Rice products, and I had quite a bit of inflammation on my face at the time. I had some pimples that had come up. I've been talking about this a lot on my channel about the kind of yucky skin I had last month, and I started using this during that time, and it actually seemed like it reduced the inflammation. It reduced some redness that I had around some pretty yucky pimples. It really just overall brought a lot of comfort to my skin, and I was very surprised because I just expect my moisturizer to protect my skin. I don't necessarily expect other benefits, but this definitely has a calming, soothing kind of anti-inflammation benefit to it, which my skin so appreciated at the time. I use it morning, I use it night. It works under makeup, it works with sunscreen. It works. It works. This is such a great cream. Lovely texture, lots of emolliency to it. A great wintertime savior. Honestly, like, run, don't walk. I am really, really excited about this cream, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep using it because I'm all about this. So let's move on to the I'm From Rice Serum. Now the number one ingredient here is fermented rice extract. And you guys know about fermentation. I always say it kind of is like putting that certain ingredient that you're fermenting on steroids. You make it bigger, you make it more powerful, like steroids in a good way. It just supercharges it and really brings out a lot more of the benefits. So just think about this as really supercharged rice extracts. And they've also combined that with niacinamide. Now remember, rice does have a natural kind of brightening effect to it. It's pretty subtle, but it does, bring a nice healthy complexion. When you combine it with a real winner like niacinamide, that's a good pairing. That's really going to bring a lot of brightness out on the skin. Now, in the description for this product, I'm From actually claims that this product can stimulate collagen production on your skin. My guess is that it's the niacinamide. It is a little bit higher up on the ingredients list. The percentage, unfortunately, is unknown. But as you know, I've talked about this a lot. The percentage for really effective collagen stimulation with niacinamide is about 4 to 5%. So there's a possibility that we have it here, we just don't know, but they are claiming that this is a little bit more geared towards anti-aging with some collagen stimulation. A couple other ingredients of note here that really have some calming and soothing effects, as well as skin strengthening and some anti-aging benefits. Those ingredients include panthenol, allantoin, adenosine, and madecassoside. Now you will also notice on the ingredients list silicones, quite a few different ones. We have 4 different silicones in total, and silicone, when I say that word, I think a lot of us do have a very specific picture in our mind, or a very specific texture, right? It's very skin smoothing, maybe it's quite thick, and it like kind of leaves your skin soft, but there's a real occlusivity to it. It almost cuts your skin off in a way. And that's just not true of all silicones. Actually, as a class of ingredients, it's very diverse. There's actually hundreds of different silicones out there. They're not all the same. And yeah, the majority of them do contribute to texture and feel, they can contribute to a lot of different textures and feels. And even some of them are moisturizing and emollient. And a lot of them are really the responsible ingredient for fighting dehydration, for creating a good occlusivity and things like moisturizers and things like that. So they're super different. You know, I'm not one to like just say, ugh, silicones as a whole, gross. It's fine. They're ingredients that have functions, especially really important ones when it comes to texture. But I always kind of keep my eye on that when they are in the ingredients list, especially in products that aren't moisturizers. That's just me personally. And it really does come through in the texture of this particular product. At least I could tell. I was like, there's got to be some silicone components in here. It's like a gel type of texture. It's very light wearing on the skin. It spreads really nicely. It absorbs in a flash. Like, it's a very quick absorbency on this. Absolutely no shininess or greasiness to this at all. Very, very light, really breathable. You know, I really don't think that there's an occlusivity to this at all, which was kind of one of my potential concerns with those silicone ingredients. I really don't feel that with this. But what you might have noticed already, I have not said the words hydrating or moisturizing. Yeah, I just really don't get that from this serum. It is just the oddest texture, and I really am struggling to really describe this the best way that I possibly can and really kind of tell you what I experienced with this, because it's just an odd gel texture. And what I wrote for myself in my notes about this is not satisfying. And this may be just more of a personal thing, but when I get to the serum step in my routine, serum really takes my skin to the next level. I like to do lots of hydrating light layers beforehand, but once I get to the serum step, it's really something that just fills my skin with serum, with hydration, with moisture, plumping it, protecting it, moisturizing it, whatever, right? There's just that feeling when you get serum onto your skin and it just sucks it all up and it feels so satisfied, right? It just feels fed. I don't know why I always refer to my skin like thirsty and hungry and fed. It's like a monster. I just did not get a lot of joy or satisfaction from this. Yes, it's super lightweight, really breathable, left my skin feeling a little bit softer, great absorbency. That all has its place, but I have to say, it just didn't really make a huge impression on me, even just in the texture department. So you guys are probably already picking up on the vibe of my feelings about this product, right? It's okay. I mean, I've been testing this for 3 weeks now, and honestly, I feel like that's enough time for me to be able to tell if something's really doing something for my skin. Like, it's definitely enough time to notice a little bit of brightening, right? And it's probably going to be subtle, but it's enough time, and I didn't really notice a lot of brightening on my skin. It's enough time for me to be able to tell if something is going to bring some anti-inflammation, some calming and soothing, like the moisturizer did for my skin. This really didn't. It's definitely not enough time for the anti-aging benefits, right? You're not really going to be able to tell if this is a product that's stimulating collagen for you unless you're really using it for a very long time and maybe noticing some improvement in your fine lines and wrinkles and things like that, right? So I definitely acknowledge that I can't really speak to that benefit of the serum. But quite honestly, I think that it's fair enough for me to say that this just didn't really wow me with benefits. I just didn't really get a lot from it. That doesn't mean that it can't work for you or that it won't be a wow. It's just not really a fit for me. And I really want to make that distinction that I don't think this is a bad product. The texture is not my cup of tea. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a really easy texture to kind of work into your routine. It layers really well with other products. There's no problem with it. Like I said, it just didn't bring to me personally that satisfying feeling. I just don't think this fits into my skincare routine right now, right? It's just not for me, and that's okay. But on the whole, I think it's a really compelling ingredients list with all of that fermented rice in it with a good amount, we would assume, of niacinamide. The claims are super interesting. The texture could actually be just the right cup of tea for some people. Really light and breathable, really quickly absorbed, no shininess, right? So that could be a great one for some people, but just for me, yeah, it was definitely my least favorite of this line. All right, and let's talk about that I'm From Rice Toner, because I really teased you with that at the beginning, didn't I? I was like, did I change my mind on this? I've tried it again after a year. My initial review on it was that it's average. It wasn't a wow, right? It didn't really wow me. And did my opinion change? You know, I wouldn't say so much that my opinion has changed on this, but what I would say is my opinion has softened. What does she mean when she says that? Let's talk about hype first, because I mean, at this point, I would think we can say that the I'm from Rice toner is basically a cult classic in K-beauty, right? So many people love this. They rave about it. There are so many like 5-star reviews, right? 2 thumbs up. So many people claim it as their holy grail product. It is hype status at this point. And, you know, one thing that I can tell you, I don't think I'm alone in this, but like when there's so much hype around a product and you're just hearing it from every side about how amazing something is, you take all that in. And if you haven't tried the product yet, you know, it definitely just mentally sets a really high bar for that product in your mind. Almost so high that no matter how good the product is, there is the potential for a little bit of disappointment. Like no matter if it's the most amazing product for your skin, that bar was set so high, it's just never going to quite reach it. That's something I have noticed about super hype products. So all that being said, I definitely did create a really high mental bar for the I'm from Rice toner when I tried it last year. You know, really my main complaints with it were that it was not hydrating enough for my skin. Now, as you guys know, super dehydrated skin here, thirsty beast living within my skin, because I always refer to my skin like kind of like a monster, right? But super, super dehydrated. I need a lot of hydration. And so yes, of course, a lot of toners just don't meet my high criteria for that. That doesn't make this bad. It just didn't make it quite right for my skin. However, there's another claim on this toner, right? It's hydrating and moisturizing. And for me, you know, I like good nourishment. You know, I like emolliency. And so the moisturization, I think I built it up so much in my mind from hearing so many reviews of people saying how moisturizing it is. It was not moisturizing. It is so lightly moisturizing. There's just a whisper of moisture. This is more what I would classify as balance. This adds balance into the skin. And so yeah, it was a letdown. I also spent like $30 some on it when I bought it last year, and I was just kind of disappointed about being out $30 on a product that didn't really spark a lot of joy, right? Now that I kind of have the luxury of having that experience already and it's just all out and done and over with and all those expectations are out of my mind, trying this toner again now this past month, you know, I'm kind of enjoying it. I really don't think that it is hydrating or moisturizing enough for my skin. None of that has changed. I still think it's, you know, average on both fronts. It's not a wow. It hasn't made a huge difference in my skincare routine at all. But honestly, like as one like little component among all my other products that I've been using, it has a really nice place in my routine. You know? And you know what's funny? I actually am kind of in a way treating this like an essence. Like it's definitely a toner, but in my skincare routine, it's functioning like an essence, and that's okay with me. You know, I use a nice lighter watery toner first, and then I do one layer of the I'm from Rice toner. And it brings that balance into my skin. Little extra hydration, little extra moisture. The texture itself is really runny. It's very thin. It absorbs really quickly. It doesn't have a heaviness to it or a thickness to it at all. It really does feel like a toner on the skin. And so that actually makes it really ideal in between additional toner and serum, right? Because it's not interfering with any textures or making my skin feel real thick. Referring to it like an essence, in a way you kind of could see it like this because it does contain 77% of rice extract plus a nice dose of brightening niacinamide. So it's got a high concentration of a great ingredient with good antioxidants and some brightening, which are some real key traditional components of essences. So yeah, I mean, that's not what it says on the bottle, but that's how it's working for me. And I'm actually reaching for this a lot recently. Is it a wow? No, but it is a nice supportive player in my skincare routine right now. And you know what? It's a pleasure, really, to use. Wow, that review had so many ups and downs, did it not? And at the end, we had like a little twist too. Like, I tell you, my expectations before I tried these products is not what it ended up being at the end of trying the products. Like the ones I thought I was gonna love, I didn't. The ones that I didn't really think I was gonna like, I ended up really loving. So, you know, it's just good to go in with very little expectation and just kind of keeping an open mind. I'm glad I did that, trying out these products, and hopefully me sharing my opinions, you know, helped you figure out if the I'm from Rice products are right for you or not. So I am curious to know, how do you feel about rice in your skincare? Are you a fan or maybe not so much? Let me know in the comment box below. I'll tell you, I'm starting to get a little bit more on board with rice because of that moisturizer. I really love it. If the video helped you but you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I release 2 new skincare focused videos every single week. Turn on those notifications and then you're never out of the loop when I post a new video. I hope you guys are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world, and I hope that you are practicing kindness to others but also to yourself. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.